this parking lot, very good, now we're getting better. Now, the parking lot I was in was over this way, okay? Will some people gather there also? Okay, where do you not want to gather?
In the building.
Right on the sidewalk, yeah. They don't come far, they're right across the street, but they have big bricks. And they take a lot of space, and sometimes they, when a lot of people are moving, you got to be very cautious. And your clients are going to get excited. I hope all of you will not be as excited, whenever the fire alarm goes off. And if it were to go off, and we were the only ones here today. Are we the only ones here today? I know sometimes, this week there's some days off. Where do we normally go in the building for fire-safe areas? Raise your hand if you know what that even is. There are areas within the building that you're allowed to say if the fire alarm is off. Now you have to understand, you have to know where that fire alarm is activated to go to one of those safe areas. Because you can't go to one that's on the area that's activating the alarm. Smoke detector off on the second floor. We would try to get off the second floor, and maybe we would gather somewhere. For your fire drills, Kevin, let me put you on the spot. How often do we run a fire drill?
Once a month.
Once a month. If the weather was extremely bad outside, we can practice using those areas. Where are those areas, sir? Give me one area. You raised your hand.
Third floor.
Third floor.
Area of refuge, right by the elevators.
Okay, right by the elevators, because there is a stairwell there. Okay, there's not going to be any use of the elevator. Okay, until the fire department deems it safe to do that. I'm never going to allow you to do that. Okay, but as a safety feature within this building, you have structures that are built to be very fire safe, and that are the stairwells. Now, is this area safe from the area above us? That's a trick question unless you have some fire safety training in the future. Are we safe here if the fire's above us? For a short period of time you are. Okay? Because this is concrete. This floor is concrete. The ceiling is concrete. The walls and everything in this structure is designed not to burn. Unfortunately, we load them up with combustibles. You're sitting on a combustible known as petroleum products. The curtains that are hanging on the walls, the carpets, the furnishings that we have, they will all burn. Okay, and I'm going to show you a short video. All right, and I'm going to talk through it because I want you to pick out a few things. The video is. Oh, thank you. Whoever did that. I was concerned that my battery, my PC made a lot. It lasts as long because there was only one power source, but we're good now. The video is going to be of a room that is set on fire, and it's going to go through the anatomy of a fire building up. Okay, like I said, I'll guide you through the video as it comes on, and we will show you how to put out that fire. But I'm going to tell you how to get away from it also. I'm going to give you those opportunities to make a decision. And I don't want you to just make a decision here at LifeWorks, or if you're in any other facility, because some may be out on the road. I go to Bell Vernon. Are there any Bell Vernon people here today? Or somebody goes to Bell Vernon? Okay. But I also want you to understand this works wherever you're at. Wherever you're at. One of the fire safe areas nobody mentioned is the exit doors to go out of the building. We did say we would take them. Housekeeping, where is the closest exit door from where we're at right now? Everybody, please point. You need to know. Okay, so we're pointing both directions. And there are some in each direction. For the size of this building and the amount of people allowed in here, you have to have multiple exits. Okay, we're coming to life here. Kevin, it's good to see you. Hope everything's well. I hope your last couple of weeks have been quiet, not like mine. We've only rescued 3 people from houses and broke into a house. A good 10-month-old yesterday. The teenager went out to do something maybe he shouldn't have done and locked his little brother in the house. All right, the gentleman set a waste can on fire. What you see here in this video is a room that's built up to be an office type environment. There's chairs, there's desks, there's books, paper, an overstuffed chair. That chair right now that's on the right side, that blue chair, not a problem, but it will be later. It has fireproofing on it. We worry about fireproofing. 30 seconds in, the smoke detector goes off. They don't always go off right away. Sometimes they go off very, very quickly. There's no smoke and it went off. You don't see any smoke in here, so one could go off now, and we're in your own home, and you have that moment of opportunity to get out of that structure. You see any smoke that's going to hurt you? Absolutely not, but it set that smoke detector off. That was not set off by heat. Everything that burns produces smoke. Some you'll see shortly, and some, you don't see that the smoke detector detects it. You've got an opportunity to get out of that structure. People say, oh, why do we go on the second floor? And I have a normal way out of my bedroom, out the hall and down the steps, but then I might have to go out the window. You will never have to go out of the window if you pay attention to that smoke detector. Did you check your smoke detector last month when we changed the clocks? Big guy, did you check your smoke detector? Okay, very good. I found one that was just on the verge of the battery going weak. When I pushed it, it went beep, 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 and I knew the battery was bad. So fortunately, we caught that when we changed our clocks, we changed our smoke detector. A minute and a half. Small trash fire. Still allowed to burn. We're going to let this burn. We're going to give you an opportunity to show how this fire can consume a lot of the products in here. What do you think that monitor is going to do? What do you think the chair is going to do? The desk, the books. In the background, there's a window that has a blind on it, the shade, just like you have here. Okay, it's combustible. It eventually will burn away. And because this was done for a university, we put a blanket up on the ceiling because some people do that in university dorm rooms. But the idea of this is to show you how a fire extinguisher will work. In about 5 minutes, you're going to hear a lot of other issues. The smoke detector battery is going to die. It's going to get noisy here in a little bit. But now you can see some other products are starting to burn. As we heat up products, the things that are less dense will burn early on. That desk is probably going to look like that desk when this is all done because it's a solid piece of wood. But the computer, the chairs, the paper, the cloth, they're all going to be gone. All going to be gone. Okay? Fire burns upward, hits the ceiling, banks across the ceiling until it hits the sidewall, and then the smoke will bank downward. We train your children to crawl in smoke. We don't want you to be standing up like I am. We want you to get down low. You're going to have air from about 18 inches down that you're going to be able to see through and be able to breathe. I'm not saying stay there and breathe the air. Let's get out. Let's find our way. You can see smoke is building. What's missing in this video? The fire extinguisher, that's coming. You'll hear a siren eventually, and that's when the fire department gets notified, because sometimes 911, you have to go find a phone and call them, and then they have to process the call. So the time the fire department gets notified is when you'll hear the siren go. What's missing in here?
People.
People? A wall and a door, thank you. This is allowed to go out into the hallway. If we close that door, we can buy ourselves even more time to get out of the structure. Or go find that fire extinguisher and maybe contain this fire. We're not going to allow this fire to get beyond control. In firefighter terms, I can hear a little bit. I'm a little closer. Yeah, all the free burning things are happening. The fire department finally gets notified because of the 911 system getting into play. You had to get to a phone, make that call. They had to get some information from you. They're going to be in place. So that was, I lost the time stamp. About 5 minutes, 4 minutes, somewhere around there. Okay. All right, there's 4 minute mark. That fire right there, you're not going to survive. Now, we close the door, that's not going to grow that fast. Superheat, 2,000 degrees. Ceiling temperature out in the hallway going to be 1,000 degrees. At the floor, it's going to be about 70 degrees, 70. You're going to survive that, so stay low if you get in this scenario. You can see at the top of the screen the heavy black smoke. That's the plastics. You can see that chair is now burning. The fireproofing finally burnt off, and we got to the chair. What's inside that chair? Yeah, that foam rubber. That's gasoline. That's petroleum-based products. The same thing we make plastics out of. This chair that you're sitting on, it will produce that type of smoke. We want to make sure that that doesn't happen. Sir?
If you shut the door, won't the door get hot?
Yes, the door handle will get hot, and so will the back of your hand if you feel the top of the door. And if you come to a room like that, and you touch that door handle, don't open it without a fire extinguisher. Even if there's somebody in there, you need a fire extinguisher. You can control this fire very, very quickly. With the type of extinguishers you have in your building, one like this, matter of seconds, that fire is going to be gone. Now, for demonstration purposes, in this video, we're not going to use an extinguisher like this. We're going to use a water-based extinguisher. The firefighter is going to be able to get close enough because he's wearing turnout gear, to keep him from getting overcome by the heat. And he's wearing a breathing apparatus so he can be close enough to that because of the smoke. The products that are burning there, if you were able to breathe, not the superheated smoke, but any of that smoke, in about 10, 15 seconds, you're going to get lightheaded, maybe pass out. It's the smoke that kills the people in fires more than any of the flames, because our body can't take the smoke. You know, younger and older people, the respiratory systems are not as good as a healthy adult. You know, as you get older, your respiratory system starts failing. You know, as you're younger, that's not developed as much. We're 6 minutes in, there's still no fireman here. He'll be here shortly. But the superheated gases, just close that door. It'll stay here. It'll buy you time to get away from this. Again, this is fire extinguisher training, so we're going to show you that. Here he comes. All right, now he's using water, and he's going to be able to put this fire. He's going to have to fight very hard. But if you had one of these extinguishers like you have here, and probably like you have at home, that fire would be out right now. They're that powerful. Why don't firefighters use it? Water's free to us. Water is a cooling agent. It does not put out fire chemically like our fire extinguishers do. Now you can get a view of, you know, how this building, you know, or how this room has survived or not survived. The computer's gone. Right? The window in the back is now exposed. The glass is probably broken out. The heavy black smoke is disappearing. It's turning into steam. We use steam to help us fight fires because the steam will go into these openings. If there was fire to go up, it will follow that, and the steam will absorb that heat and put out fire. You can't be in that steam because it's extremely hot. And he's wearing breathing apparatus and turnout gear. He can be that close. How far will one of these extinguishers shoot? You know, when I aim it, I squeeze the handle. How far? About 8 to 10 feet. Is that far enough away? Maybe. Maybe we can use the door as a blocking mechanism. I'll show you how to do that in a little bit, where we stand behind the door and we put the nozzle in there and just sweep it up and down. It will knock that fire down. You don't always have to hit the base of the fire. That powder will distribute and put it out. And he's using the extinguisher to clean out the fire. Any firefighters in the room other than myself and Kevin? Anybody that has ever used a fire extinguisher in real life? I don't even know. How did it work? Did everything I'm saying kind of fall in line? Ma'am? Somebody over here had their hand up?
Yeah.
Did it work well?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. She's videoing us. And again, when you have that major fire, we want to sweep the top surfaces, and I'll explain that in a little better detail in a moment. Any questions about the video? Did it give you an idea how quickly something can happen? How long it's going to be before they get here? Engine company number 4 and truck 4 are right across the street. But if they happen to be up on the Hill District and in Oakland fighting fire, they're not going to be right across the street. You may be here for a little bit. They're very busy. They're all in station right now. But they may be somewhere else, you know, in a little while. Again, the room is, you know, pretty well under control. Insurance, you know, family members, people in the community will help get you back into that house as quickly as we can. What you don't want to have happen is have to go to the hospital. Okay. I haven't shown that video in probably 2 months. And showing it, I look at you and in amazement. You know, you're all like paying attention. You saw what was going on. Could you imagine people that may be at your home right now not getting this training and what they're going to realize? So please, you know, you're probably going to be with a lot of family. Spend 5 minutes over the weekend and ask them, do you have your smoke detectors? We had this guy come in and showed us a fire. It's so dangerous. Does your smoke detectors work? I don't want you to train them to use a fire extinguisher. I want you to train them to get out of that building. You know, survive. You know, the deaths I've had in the 45 years I've been running into burning buildings have been older people and the very young. I cannot recall somebody my age or maybe in their 40s, 50s, 30s that had been hurt really bad, maybe trying to get somebody else out. But the ones that don't have the training, the ones that maybe can't breathe longer than, you know, being in that smoky condition, it's very, very dangerous. And it doesn't matter if you live in a well-to-do neighborhood or an area that is, you know, kind of not as well-to-do. It happens to anybody at any time. What causes most of the fires that we run into? Anybody have any ideas? We have three major concerns that in your homes or in your businesses that cause fire.
Electrical.
Very, very good point. Electrical. Cooking accidents, not as much as you think. But yeah, if we do have an accident cooking, it usually gets to be a pretty big fire very quickly because of the appliances are there. Yes, sir?
Lack of common sense.
Can't teach that. It's something you have to have. But yeah, not.
It's something you gotta think about it.
Well, here, I'll give you an example. I really believe the last fatality we had, the fire department could have did better. In the 90 seconds it took us to get these three children out, we didn't have any of them that survived. What was our failure? We didn't get to their parents. We didn't get to the school. The oldest was 6. We haven't touched base with that child what to do when a smoke detector goes off. So yeah, common sense. The fire department needs to be out doing a better job. Okay? All you, and that's what I'm asking. You're now part of our fire department here today. I'm asking you to make sure your family, maybe some loved ones of yours, are safe. And we can do that by passing the word around. Okay? Smoking, cooking accidents, and electrical devices. That is our issue. Smoking is getting to be less and less of an issue. Okay? Nobody in my house smokes. My son smokes, but he doesn't live with me anymore. But when he comes to visit, he wants to smoke, he has to leave. He has to leave the house. I don't send him to the end of the property line, like some UPMT facilities do. But yeah, I do have him controlled, And around my grandchildren, I don't let him smoke at all. And he has learned that process. He's also a firefighter. He's seen these issues. So yeah, that's the issues that we have going on. Playing with matches, that scenario still comes about. We're doing a pretty good job with that. We get somebody that, is playing with matches. We get the call and we go out and we talk to those people. We've been pretty effective, trying to control that. Back to the fire extinguisher training. I asked Sarah if she would help me train you today. She is your trainer. Last year I kind of, sat with her and we went over some things that need to happen here. Has Sarah had an opportunity to talk to any of you since the last time I was here? On an ongoing basis, monthly basis, maybe new employees sitting through. If somebody's new here, you have to go through a process within those first couple days to make sure you know how to get out of the building, how to use the telephones, what to do if a fire alarm does go off. Those are things that have to happen ongoing. Some of you look familiar, so this is second, third time that I've been here. Matt that used to come here, remember Matt? He was at the airport fire department. My son took his position as a trainer at the airport. Matt is now a state policeman. Yeah, Matt, we were together doing a project at the airport, and he says, tomorrow's my last day. I said, what do you mean, you going on vacation? No, I'm finishing tomorrow. I says, really? Congratulations. Where are you going? He says, I'm going to become a state policeman. His bosses didn't even know that yet. He went in and told them after that, because he knew I was going to talk to them about it. And Matt's gone. Yeah, well, he's not gone, but he's in the Greensburg district, east of here. Doing very well also. So, how does a fire extinguisher work? Where are they located? How long will they last? What kind of fires will they put out? How far will they reach when I use them? Any ideas? Go ahead, ma'am.
I don't know if they told you the side used to have like an ABC on the fire extinguisher.
It does. Very good. And that ABC rating tells us what kind of materials it's going to put out when it's on fire. This one's pretty easy to see. It has it in yellow. All right? Right on the side, the letters ABC. If you have an ABC fire extinguisher like you do here, it'll put out anything that's on fire in this building or in your home. Anything. Now, those categories, there's 5 categories of fire. A, B, C, D, and K. Right? You do have a K fire extinguisher and a K fire extinguisher system here within your building. Anybody have an idea where it might be? In the kitchen. Yeah, that hood system is a different product than this. And you have a silver fire extinguisher in there that is designed just to put out those grease fires on top of the stove. Okay, that's the class K. I might as well hit you with class D because you don't have any of those issues here. Well, you might at some point, depending on what your clients are doing. A class D fire extinguisher is for dangerous metals. Lithium, titanium, aluminum, magnesium. The metals that end in the letters IUM. When they're ground up into a fine particle, dust-type particle, they're very explosive. Okay, and will catch on fire very rapidly. This will not put it out. Water will not put it out. So you may, at some venture, depending on what your clients or what their activity is, you may at some venture have some grindings going on. Now you have to have a good quantity of it, so you may have a need for that. I'm sure Kevin will review that if that ever comes the case. An ABC though stands for those common materials we have all around us. Class A is the materials that produce ash. Cloth, paper, wood, plastics, okay? Things that we have in this room. Everything in this room is a Class A fire material if it catches on fire. If it burns up, it's going to be a pile of ash. Class B is the things that go boom. Gasoline, propane, natural gas, some chemicals, aerosol cans. All right, so we've got some of those things here within the building. Class B handled with this material. This is an Ansel-based material. It's mostly, ladies, what do you think mostly is in here? The ladies, you use this in cooking. Don't use this particular medicine. Yeah, baking soda. Arm & Hammer baking soda. Most of it is Arm & Hammer baking soda. It has some other additives. That's why you can't use those for cooking. You use it to put out a cooking fire, but not for cooking. Things that go boom. The Class C are those electrical current things that have current. If it has electricity to it, I don't want you putting water on it. There's a possibility you could get shocked. Now that possibility is very, very light. You have to actually be standing in the same pool of water that the electrical wire is sitting in. That doesn't happen very often, but we don't want to test it. We don't want you to test it. This comes out as a dry powder, and it does not conduct electricity. So anything, my computer material, televisions, stereo equipment, electrical lights, fans, electrical stove, dryers, heavy-duty electricity, but it's going to put it out right now. I had a real experience right after Christmas, actually it was Christmas week. A young gentleman in my town, I live in Pleasant Hills, had a crackling going on in the basement. He went down, and the electric box, located in the basement, was shooting sparks out. He grabbed a 5-gallon bucket of water and threw it on it. And I asked him, now he lived. He was sitting here talking to me, telling me how this. I said, what was that experience like? He goes, well, there was this big ball of flame went right over my head. And I said, yeah. And my hair stood up. I said, yeah, it probably did. And did you get down low? He says, I fell to the ground. I figured there was another one coming. I said, well, what do you think happened at that point? He says, well, it got dark here in the whole neighborhood. I mean, it killed the lights everywhere. And actually, our first indication it was a fire was from a building across the street. The fire alarm went off because the power died. And we responded. And on our way, we got the true 911 call from his sister saying, my brother threw a 5-gallon bucket of water on the electrical panel. And I knew we were in trouble. Fortunately, he was fine. Yeah, I said, will you ever do that again? No, and I asked him, can I have a release to tell this story? Because he truly said, I grabbed the 5-gallon bucket, and this was his motion, and I threw it like this, and right over my head was this big ball of flame, instantly. But it went on, killed the main circuit breaker at the transformer outside. So,
Like the lottery that night.
yeah, probably should. Well, he's only 15, we don't want to, that gambling thing's an issue. Would this have worked on that? Under what class of fire? This is a test. Class C, very good. And from about 8 to 10 feet, I asked him originally, how far was the original spark shooting out? He said they were coming out maybe 2 feet at the most and then just dropping to the ground. But they were continuous. They were just coming out. So something happened to that electrical box. No, we couldn't tell you what happened because the electrical box was truly destroyed after he threw the water. But I asked him, was there a boom? He says, I don't remember, but I can't hear very well now. I said, okay. And things happen that quickly. I mean, just think. Have you ever picked up an extension cord at home and it was warm?
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you think caused that? Bad cord, maybe?
Yeah.
Right? They're all bad in the firefighter's eyes. You're not allowed to use them here. Only on a temporary basis. Right now I'm using one temporary. Kevin provided me Kevin, you provide this?
Yes.
Kevin provided me a nice extension cord. It's in decent shape. Okay? Extension cord. Temporary use. We're done using it. We're going to put it away. But what you are allowed to use in this facility is something like this. This is a power strip. These are allowed to use. If you have one that only has a short cord and you want to make it longer, you want to get another one plugged here to make it longer, you're not allowed to do that. You're not allowed to daisy chain these. Okay? And the reason you're allowed to use these in commercial is there is a switch and there's a breaker inside this. Picking up an extension cord and it's warm or it's real soft, is on the verge of causing a fire. And you probably heard, never put one under, you know, a door, in a walkway, under a carpet. Why do you think that is? Nah, friction's part of it, yep. Well, it needs to air cool. The air around us is keeping that cord to work properly. If it's covered with something, it's not getting the air moving around it. And it's going to break down and get soft and maybe create heat and cause something to go on fire. Okay? So that's why extension cords. So if you have one at home and you feel it and it's warm, probably don't want to do that. Ladies, do you get cold here at work at times? Not allowed to use space heaters here in a commercial building. Okay? Are you under Department of Welfare? Regulations? Okay. Then you have to really watch. All right. Have you ever unplugged that space heater and it's always warm? You know, they only make them good to not cause a fire. So make it warm, but it's not going to get warm enough that it causes a fire. What's the dangers of the children around space heaters? Or maybe adults like me that play with things, because I do. I touch everything. They tip over. And when they do tip over, they have a safety feature that does cut the power off, but it doesn't get rid of the heat. The heat stays there, and it's metal. All right, so with a child, they may sit on it. It looks like a stool to them. And they may, you know, fall on top of it playing. So we always have those issues. So you want to be safe around home. So if you have an issue going on, maybe a breaker's always popping, maybe we need to move something off that circuit to another circuit, or have an electrician come in and look at it. Because again, one of the three items that we always have that cause fires is one of those is electrical devices. It may not be the device, it may be how we plug everything into that one wall. And we got a couple other areas that maybe we can rearrange things. Okay. I told you what kind of fires this put out. That's the ABC rating. How much fire would an extinguisher like this is a little bit smaller than what you have. How much fire do you think one of these would put out? Figure a size of a room. Get in your mind, okay, what kind of room fire would we be worried about? Think of your own bedroom, where there's a mattress, a box spring, all the wood products that are in there, the furnishings, the carpeting, the clothes that may be there, all right? All that burning, and I mean truly burning like you just saw in that video. This is going to put it out in about 5 seconds. With or without training. You just squeeze that handle in that area, it's going to put it out. Now you go outside where the wind's going a little bit, now you got to get, you know, more precise. But it's going to put that fire out. How long will one of these last when I squeeze that handle on that fire? I'm squeezing this handle, all right? How long? This one didn't last very long at all. How long before it's totally empty?
30 seconds.
30 seconds? Right, good answer. About 15 to 30 seconds. Why? I can give you one that's bigger, it lasts 20 minutes. You go to the mall down by my house, we can't get fire trucks underneath the parking garage, so they built these big ones.
You don't want to be exposed.
You don't want to be exposed to products of combustion. Absolutely. You know, some of them will hurt you, kill you right away. Some of them, on a long-term basis, may cause illnesses down the road. You don't need to be around them. Okay? So we'll always make these last no longer than 30 seconds so that you can put out a fire and get that evacuation going. That's the key. You know, and even on with the instructions, it's going to tell you with the instructions. Call 911 and evacuate the building. Okay? And the instructions are on here. How does this work? We use an acronym. You know, an acronym's of letters in lieu of the instructions.
Pass.
Pass. Very good. Who said that? If I had a star, I'd give you a star. Be our star today. All right? Pass. We pull the pin, we aim this nozzle, we squeeze this handle, and then we sweep the nozzle. Now, those of you who have used the extinguisher, did you remember to do all that? Oh, you did? Was it in training you used the extinguisher or real life? Anybody use it? Did you use it in real life? Where you had a fire? Did you remember to do all those things or you just used it?
There wasn't a fire.
Oh, okay. It was just training? Okay. Yeah. I had a 5-year-old. Mother told me the 5-year-old put out a fire in the garage. Grabbed it, squeezed it, put it out. I said to them, how did you know to do this? Well, there's pictures. Look, it's right on there. Gave him a star. Pull the pin. We aim this nozzle at the base of the fire. If this table was on fire with a door to my back, all right, I want to make sure I don't get trapped in there like the rest of you over there will get trapped. All right, from about 8 to 10 feet away, squeeze the handle, pull the pin, aim, squeeze the handle, and when we sweep the top surface of that table if that's what's on fire. nothing underneath is on fire. Flames are going to be shooting up into the air. We don't want to shoot at those gases. We want to shoot at the base of the fire. And very, very quickly, it's going to extinguish that fire. And try not to turn your back and walk out. Keep your eye on it as you make your way back to the door. Okay? It works very, very efficiently. Those of you that went outside last year, we put out a fire, you know, and we used some technology to do that. We actually had a propane fire out there, and we used an extinguisher and put it out. Do you remember doing that? Now that training scenario does not put the fire out as quickly as the powder that's in there, because we were using water. The idea of that training scenario was to pull, aim, squeeze, and sweep, keep the sweeping motion going, because if you didn't, the fire would come back. All right? And it kind of will hopefully stick in your mind, hey, I need to sweep across the base of that fire. Okay? Now, if we do come across a fire outside, and we take a fire extinguisher out here, maybe into the parking lot, keep the wind to your back. You want the wind to hit your back, because if you aim this, if the wind's coming this direction, if I aim this way and the wind's coming here, I'm going to get the powder, and the fire may not get as much. Because again, it's only going to sweep about 8 to 10 feet. But if the wind's hitting my back, it'll enhance the production of how the fire extinguisher works. Now, let's put somebody on the spot. Shall I put Sarah or Kevin on the spot? Let's be nice and put Kevin on the spot. Kevin, when you went through training, did it work well for you? Did you need training to work fire, Kevin?
Yeah.
Okay, when you went up there, you had 2 floors totally on fire. Did they take you into the first floor and put out like the kitchen fire with the extinguisher? And pretty intense fire. Now it's a concrete building, you know, it has pallets on fire inside there, and it's producing a lot of smoke and a lot of heat. And from about 8 to 10 feet, you go in, you hit it, and all of a sudden, the smoke and the heat's still there, but the flame disappears. And over about 30 minutes, the building will cool down. Now, firefighters use water because the water cools it down very rapidly. It allows us to get, you know, deeper into the building to do rescue work. If you had somebody here in your facility that got lost during the fire drill, and there was, or during the alarm, I should say, and something's going on, you need to call 911 again while you keep that evacuation going, or you need a team of people to go hunt that person out. And make sure you take a fire extinguisher with you, because you may get to, say, the 2nd floor and not have a fire extinguisher. As you come out the steps, there's something going on down the hall. You may not find the ones that are up there. You may think, well, I know where it's at. I work on the 2nd floor. You may get disoriented very, very quickly. So again, if you're on the 1st floor and you're going out to assist somebody, take an extinguisher with you. We'll find time later to put it back. You know, 1 fire extinguisher does a great job. 2 will do even better. Okay? Again, the 5-year-old put it out not knowing how to use it. He squeezed the handle. I was surprised he knew how to pull the pin. That was the key to me. Now maybe he saw something on a video. You know, I have a little niece my wife watches, and we watch Mickey Mouse Playhouse. I don't see it there, but occasionally during Fire Prevention Week, you know, you see the firemen talking to kids at a school. They may learn it there, and it may stick with them. Okay? I was burnt as a child. I was 5 years old, and I was doing something really stupid. I was running through a campfire. Right? I wasn't the leader. I was following people. Got away with it 2 times. The 3rd time my pant leg caught on fire, my knee was burned really, really bad. To the point that they wanted to amputate to save my life. Fortunately, you know, we made it to another hospital. They took me out of that one, and I recovered. I don't remember any of the pain, none whatsoever. And my parents have been gone a while, and I asked one of my aunts, I said, I'm not teaching the people. She says, was I in a lot of pain? She says, yeah, you were, but you love morphine. You know, they had done so much morphine, you didn't. And I says, oh, I get kidney stones now. I know what the morphine. She's right. It's a great drug. It works well for me. So, when we train about the fire extinguishers, where are they located? Are they in rooms like this? Where are the fire extinguishers located in your building here? In the hallway. On your way out. All right? Let's say this room was on fire, and we're here, you know, we need a fire extinguisher. You leave, you go get the fire extinguisher, all of a sudden you get to that door again, and it's too smoky, too dangerous for you to go. You can close the door and just leave. Okay? You may have to make that decision, and that's why we put them in hallways on the way out. So that if you turn around and it's too bad for you, you can leave. Get that evacuation going. Okay, we'll find another location for you until we can restore this building. You don't want to put yourself in that position if you cannot handle the area. Now, we talked about touching the doorknob. I said take the back of your hand and feel the door. The back of your hand is more sensitive than the front of your hand. Everybody, squeeze the palm of your hand, very lightly, just squeeze it, and then squeeze the back of your hand the same way. I think you're going to feel some pain on the back of your hand before you feel on the front of your hand. And truly, the back of your hand is more sensitive. So if you feel the door up high where the heat will collect, or touch the doorknob, because on either side of that door is a metal doorknob, it will conduct heat very quickly. Do not open that unless you have a fire extinguisher with you. Now, do we have what I would call searchers for this building to look out for clients and other employees? Okay, people that may need special attention. Where's the gentleman with the cane there in the back? Can I use? Do you have a partner that comes and helps you?
I usually evacuate myself.
Okay, and you feel comfortable using his senses?
Yes.
His senses are probably heightened more than ours because of he has a need. Now, have you found that when you're, say, shopping, say like at Giant Eagle, just to use a place, that you know how to get out of that building other than the way you came in?
Probably.
Yeah, and that's a concern I want you all to be aware of. All right, I had a Kmart fire on Route 51 in 1999, and we thought we lost a lady in a wheelchair. When we entered that complex, we were told by the people coming out, there's a lady back by sports department in a wheelchair, and she didn't get here. We did find her 6 hours later. Fortunately for us, she was in another town. She went out another exit, got on a bus, and went to her daughter's house. You know, she knew she couldn't get her car out of there because we had fire trucks with all kinds of big hoses around. And truly, we thought we had a fatality. But she was understanding with her handicap that she knew, hey, you got to be more prepared to take care of yourself, because people may not recognize your handicap or give you the time of day when things are really, really bad. Okay, so please, ladies, gentlemen, always know another way out. I use the two examples, Kmart and Giant Eagle. I know when I go to those places, I park as close to the front door as I can, because I'm going to go in, I'm going to get what I need, pay, and come back out the same door to get to my car. Look around, because like this facility, there are other areas to get out. And you need to understand that they're lit, they have exit signs. You need to know, in case something really bad happens, how you get out. And it's just not about fires. It's just not about fires. Okay? I think that's about where I want to stop. I asked if you were going to ask to come up and help me. Come on up here. Sarah was trained to do a few of these things. Sarah, any questions for me that I can help you over the next 12 months? No, everything's perfect. Any questions for Sarah? Do you think your evacuation plan works for you? If the fire alarm went off right now, not because you're here, but what would your clients do? What do you think they'll do? And what exits would they go to? They would use the stairwell exits? Okay, and in the stairwells there is exits right at the base of the stairwell to the outside. If you haven't known that, maybe you never make it down to the lower level. Here, I think it's right out on Forbes Avenue, but downstairs it'll go out, Watson Street or whatever that's called back here. Okay, yeah, there are exits, other ways, you have to control them. At some point in time, you have to be accountable for everybody. Do we have a system that we figure out who's here today and how many people? What's our census today, everybody? Anybody know what our census of building is today? Any idea? Important to know. Okay, because when we get outside, we want to make sure we have everybody. This is in your own groups. Maybe you work on the third floor only. Do you know how many people are in your area that you're responsible for? Is the residence portion still here? Yeah. Okay. What about those residents? Do they have to leave?
Yeah.
Yeah, and they do. I've conducted a few fire drills here myself, and they're ahead of the game. Okay, they know to leave, but they have staff that help us also. And what I'm asking Sarah is, hey, everybody, this is everybody's responsibility, not just Sarah, who's going to do training throughout the year that new people would come in, or people that had questions about what I talked about. It's everybody's responsibility. And again, I'm going to finish up here in a second. I really want you to take this home. Make sure you're safe in your own home, or where you go to visit. If it's at a grocery store, the library, in your own schools. We've seen what happened last week in a school. The day before that, we were doing a shutdown at my high school. Ironic, well, That week was set aside to be a disaster training week at the schools, so we were assigned to go to our high school, and we did a shooting exercise, you know. And my job with that is to make sure the doors are clear and they can get out, you know, because I don't carry a weapon, and I don't wear a vest. So, you know, I don't have the protective equipment like I do if there was a fire. Now, our police don't go inside if there's a fire. Their job is to collect people at the doors when they get out. And you need to do that here. You need, you know, that door in front is wide open. You know, somebody could come in and set a fire. You may have to use some of the techniques I'm going to show you here today, or it could be something worse. Okay? We're all awake here. We can all get up and get out. You may not do that at home. So, do you have a smoke detector? Anybody not have a smoke detector at home? This is a good thing. If you all have one. Now, has anybody not checked it recently? I'll close my eyes. You can raise your hand. I won't look. All right? Please check them. They're like they're not there if you haven't checked them. It could be beeping, doing that once every 30 seconds. Once every 30-second beep. You know, going beep, beep, meaning the battery's low, but you're here. You may miss it. So please check it. And we give you an opportunity twice a year for the fire service does. We remind you during news media is when we change our clocks, we ask you to check your smoke detectors and carbon monoxide detectors. Any questions about carbon monoxide? That comes up occasionally. Not a required detector if you were buying a new facility or moving into an apartment. Smoke detectors are required. Carbon monoxide eventually will be required with the new codes that are coming out. But right now, it's a good idea to have one. Anything that burns produces carbon monoxide. Your hot water tank, if it's gas-fired, the furnaces, your kitchen stove, if it's gas-fired, it's producing carbon monoxide. Now, they're producing, if it's a nice blue flame, it's not producing as much carbon monoxide if it was a yellowish-orange flame. So yeah, again, you know, we want you to understand you need to get away from that also. Yes, sir?
How often should we check our smoke detectors?
Well, all right, let me throw it back to you. What did I say? Yeah, when you change the time on your clock, we would like you to spend a couple minutes to press the detector, make sure the battery's working. I'm not going to ask you to set a piece of paper on fire and wave it in front of the No, don't want to do that. We did that at the manufacturer, okay? But we do want to make sure the batteries. I just had one of my neighbors is an elderly lady. She calls us. I don't know how to change the battery in 2 of my smoke detectors. Well, she had ones that were really new, and they didn't have a changeable battery. They're a 10-year battery, and at the end of 10 years, you throw the smoke detector away and get a new one. Your smoke detectors only last about 10 years, and then they start getting weak. The detector does, not the battery. The element that's in the detector starts getting weaker. So after about 10 years, you might want to think about buying a new smoke detector. $4.95 will get you an approved smoke detector, and it comes with a 10-year battery, or it's a lithium battery, so you don't change it. And you know, you just want to, every 6 months when we change our clocks, press that button, make sure you hear beep, 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 because that's what you want. You don't want a little chirping beep, because then we have a battery issue. The ones that you have a changeable 9-volt battery in, the battery alone, I just priced them $4.95 for a detector. It was $6 for the battery to put in there. So, but the smoke detector came with a battery. I don't know how they do that, but you get free too. That was at like Home Depot, Kmart. We were at Giant Eagle last night. My wife said, "What are you doing in this aisle?" It's nothing. Oh, they have smoke detectors and fire extinguishers. I'm going to see what their costs are. Yeah. So yeah, there's ways of finding it. If you can't afford them, call your fire department. They may have a grant program that they'll come out and take care of it for you. You know, somebody's elderly, and you heard their smoke detector, let them know. You know, the 311 number in the city of Pittsburgh, great. You know, those guys will come out and they'll have a little fire extinguisher training where you're going to tell the people about how safety works in their house. How about a collapsible ladder out your window? I hear that question. Anybody have one of those? Has anybody ever tried using one? I bought one for my sons. Never even thought about it. And then, I'm watching one day come out the window to get away from mom and dad. And the thing's going like this on the house as they're on it. It doesn't attach to the house, so any movement on it made a move. I said, wow, that's different. And then I did a little bit more research. I actually went up to it and looked at it. There's only about that much space for your toes. It wasn't away from the building where you get a good foot on it. So be careful. They're great. They have saved many lives. They cost about $30, so if you have a second floor. The best thing to do is go out and buy another smoke detector, get it closer to that person that has to go out a window. This way here they have that element of time when the smoke detector goes off, they can get out that hallway, get down the steps before the smoke builds up to the point that they, can't stay there. If they're not waking up, another smoke detector. You can get them now, you can record your voice. Instead of just going beep, 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 you can say, Tommy, the alarm's going off, it's time to leave. Get out of the house, the house is on fire. Sometimes that works, because everything we use today beeps at us. You know, think of your phone and the microwave and the TV when it comes on, everything's beeping. So the children are getting immune to beeps. You know, I wonder what that is. My wife has an iPad and all they did started beeping last night. So what's that all about? Oh, it tells me now I'm getting emails. Oh, okay. Any questions? Okay. We're going to do 3 questions from each side of the room for our test.